Okay, YouTube, today we're going to be looking at some Sig P320s, and we're going to do that outside underneath the palm trees in the Sunshine State of Florida. And what we have here in front of us, we have a variety of P320 pistols, and this has become a pretty popular pistol over the past, I'd say, about 10 years that it's been out, and I've got a variety of them here. I'm going to show you some of the different sizes and shapes you can get, how these things have evolved over the years, and why people like them, and I'll also tell you why people do not like them. So before we get started, I'm going to tell you every one of these pistols have been safety checked, and there is nothing in them. And as I pick them up one by one, I will show you that nobody can get hurt. So what we will do, we will start with the top one here, and I'm going to show you that there's nothing in this pistol. This is a P320. This is a common size compact P320. This is the bare bones one, and this one is chambered in 45 ACP. This is the very first one I ever got, and I like this one. When the 320 came out, I felt one and held it in my hand and felt how ergonomic it is and how good the trigger is on it. And I said, if they ever make one of these in 45, I'm gonna buy one. And they did start offering them in 45, and I went ahead and bought one. Now, the only thing that I've done to this pistol since I bought it is I put this Talon rubberized grip on it. And basically it's a sticker of a rubberized texturing, and the original 320 grip modules that came on these things, they were a little slick, they were a little lacking on the texturing, and with the extra added a little bit of recoil that the 45 has, I felt that it needed it. I put this on it, it solved it. So this is an awesome gun. When the 320 came out, it was the first modular pistol, and when I say modular pistol, this is a genius design, folks, and I'm going to show you what makes this a modular pistol. The 45 holds 10 rounds in the magazine for the compact version, and it is just a very nice size. It'd be a very great carry gun. I do carry this one sometimes when I'm on my motorcycle. I carry this one in a shoulder holster with 2 extra magazines. It's awesome. So, modular pistol. So how you tear one of these things down, it's very simple. You lock the slide back with the slide stop, take this takedown lever here, push it forward, and you pull the slide off, and this looks like any other striker fired pistol. You know, you just have your recoil spring here, and you lift your barrel out of it. Now you're left here with the bottom frame here, and this looks like every other striker fired pistol that you would see on the inside, but what makes this one a little bit unique is you can pull this takedown lever out of here, and you can lift this whole entire fire control group out, and this is your firearm, folks. There's the serial number on it, and this is what you have to do your background check for. And you can put this fire control unit in any size grip module. This is nothing but a piece of plastic. There's no serial number on it anywhere. See the little hole here? That lines up with the serial number here on the fire control unit. And you can put this on any size. You can change calibers on it, change slide sizes, change grip module sizes. Essentially, you can have several firearms and just switch this fire control unit out between many of them. And the way this goes back in, you just lower this down in here. Sometimes this gives me a little bit of a trick doing this on camera, but you just drop this fire control unit in this frame. Well, it's going to cause me trouble now that I'm trying to do this on camera. Lower it down in here, make sure it's in here tight, and then you take your takedown lever here, and sometimes it takes a little bit of finagling to put it in here. I usually like to rotate it around until it goes all the way in, just like that. Then you take your slide it back on here, lock it back just like you did when you took it down. Put the takedown lever back, do it, and function test it, and it is good to go. Now, one of the things about the 320 is the trigger on them. If you'll notice the trigger, there's that much take up on it, and it just goes off like that. There's no sponginess or anything like that with other striker fired pistols. Here's your reset, and there it is. Excellent trigger, excellent feel on this gun, and this is probably one of my favorite guns to take to the range because I'm a 45 ACP fan, and that is my 320 and 45 ACP. Next one we're going to look at is the same exact gun. It's not loaded, and 9mm. Now the difference in this one is this grip module that I just showed you could take off has been changed, and this one has a Wilson Combat grip module on it. Now what Wilson Combat does is they figure out stuff that's wrong with firearms that interest them, and they're very interested. Bill Wilson, the owner, loves the Sig 320, and he noticed that the texturing was a little off, just like I just mentioned on that 45, and he changed the ergonomics a little bit on it. He made like a little undercut here. He put a lot better texturing on it. The front has pretty aggressive texturing for your hand for the muzzle flip, and he started manufacturing these polymer grip modules. And this one has one on there. Now they do not offer one for the 45, or that one would have one on there. So what I did for my 45 one, so I just bought this Talon grips, this rubberized grip, and it's a little bit cheaper than buying a whole grip module. I think you can buy this Talon grip for 20 bucks, and I think a grip module from Wilson Combat's around 60, so it's about 3 times as much, but it accomplishes the same thing. Gives you a real nice feel though. They did change a couple things on here with this thumb insert here and everything, just a really great feel. But this one's an older one, folks, an older 320, and the one of the bad names that the 320 got when they first came out, I think there was one incident that was highly advertised in the news of a police officer dropped one of these and had an accidental discharge. And everybody says if you drop it at a certain angle, at a certain thing like this, that they're not drop safe. I don't know that to be true. I think that's the only incident I ever heard of. And as with all these high-end firearm companies that produce a lot of stuff, press gives a lot of bad attention, and people run wild with it. So what Sig Sauer did is they had a voluntary recall on these very first ones that came out, and they put a different firing control group in them. They changed a couple springs or something and made them a lot more safe. And the reason you can tell that this is an older one, if you'll notice how wide the trigger is on this, and if you'll compare that to the one I just showed you, the trigger on this one's a lot thinner profile. So if you look at them side by side, same gun, the trigger group on the bottom one is a lot thicker than it is on the top one. So they did a voluntary recall, and you can send them in and supposedly make them safer. This one obviously hasn't been done. Never had an issue with it, folks, but I think it's more hype than anything. I think anytime somebody has a problem with a firearm, they take it to the extreme, put it out on the internet, and people go crazy with them. And you can't believe everything you see on the internet, and I'm trying to be as most honest as I can be. But anyway, folks, this is the same gun, same exact features on it as the one I just showed you, just with the Wilson Combat grip module. The trigger is equally as good as the last one I just showed you, and the reset is just as good. So these guns just work so smooth. They just have the smoothest operation of this slide. They're just so comfortable in your hands, and the military actually adopted the 9mm version to replace the Beretta 92. I think they did that in like 2017. They had a competition with Glock and Beretta and Sig Sauer, and this one ultimately won out. So now our U.S. military is carrying as their sidearms a Sig 320. It's a modular pistol, and they can make them any size they want. It's a genius design. So the 9mm one holds 15 rounds in the compact size right here. They have the subcompact also. These are just compact. This one's a 15 round gun, and the 45 one's a 10 round gun. Same size frame. Now, Wilson Combat doesn't make that grip module for this, like I just said, but these two are essentially the same size. They measure the same width, the same length. Everything's the same, except for this one is a 9mm, and this one is a 45 ACP. The next one we're going to look at is a little bit newer one, and this is a 320 Nitride. This is what they call the X carry, and I'm going to show you this one's not loaded. And the difference in this one is mainly the grip module. So like I told you earlier, some of the earlier Sig Sauers, the grip module did not have as good a texturing on them. They weren't as ergonomic. If you look underneath the right here, it's not really undercut to get a really high grip on them. Wilson Combat fixed that. They put this undercut on them so you can get a little bit higher grip on it, a little bit better feel in your hand. Well, Sig Sauer took notice of that, and they came out with what they call the X carry, and that's what this one is. So if you notice, it's a little bit higher undercut on them. The texturing is greatly improved. They took notice of what Wilson Combat did, and they started producing them just out of the factory. And this one, to be honest with you, is probably the best feel in your hand. It's got this one little finger groove here where it's undercut. The texturing is awesome on it, but other than that, this is a 9mm P320. This one also holds 15 rounds in the magazine, and it operates just as smooth. So on this one is a newer one, so it has the thinner trigger on them. And if you want to compare it to the older one, the trigger, if you look at the profile of the trigger, the one on the bottom is a lot thinner than the one on the top. But other than that, very similar. This one's got the Wilson Combat grip module on it, and the other one has got the X carry, the newer updated grip module on it. This one's a little bit thinner through here. It actually feels really good in your hand. Like if you were to carry this is a great carry option. It's quite a bit thinner than the Wilson Combat one here, but that's all going to be, you know, the size of your hands. I have large hands, and this one actually feels good in my hand for this being this thin. But this is your X carry P320 Nitride. And the next one we're going to look at is a little bit higher dollar one, and it's not loaded. This is a P320 Legion. This is a Legion X5 Legion. They call this one the carry model. When these things first came out, I saw one of these in a local gun store, and I was like, what is that thing right there? The guy goes, hold this in your hand. So he puts it in my hand. This was a full size one now, so it had a 5-inch barrel on it, and I was like, man, I can't believe that. It's just so heavy and just so well balanced. Well, what Sig Sauer did is they added this mag well underneath it. It also acts as a weight. So I mean, this gun's heavy, and it really balances well in your hand as opposed to all the other ones here. And this one's a lot more expensive than the other ones. And this has got a few more features on them. So what this thing is, this is a 17 round magazine that goes in this, a double stack magazine. It has this magwell chute here that also acts as a counterbalancing weight. It's got the same X5 texturing on them. It's really undercut. This one's optic ready on the top. It has a little Legion sign on it. The only thing I don't like about it is when you remove the plate to them, you also lose the rear sight. I do not like that about it. I don't like losing a rear sight. I like the sights to co-witness with the optic. It has a threaded barrel on it, and this thing has what they call the enhanced trigger group. And folks, I'm going to tell you, it is enhanced. So if you'll notice the trigger group, the trigger on this is a flat trigger versus the other X5 carry here. It's more of a bowed trigger group, and the trigger on this one thing is absolutely out of this world, folks. So if you look at the trigger on this one, that's all the take up there is, and this thing is absolutely amazing. And the reset on this thing is right there, and then it goes. This one has the best trigger of all of them. Now this thing is comparable, in my opinion, to like one of the new 2011s, like the Staccato or something like that. The difference being is this one is a striker fired pistol, but it's a very big, heavy, well balanced double stacked competition style 9mm with a threaded barrel on it and a awesome trigger in it. The big beaver tail in the back, the adjustable sights on them, These have tritium night sights, and it also has a green circle on the front, so you can pick up during the daytime. I don't know if I can get this to show up on camera or not, but it has a green outline around the tritium insert. Very awesome pistol, and you have to just feel one of these in your hands. When I first saw them, I was like, the only thing I don't like about it is I don't like the long 5-inch barrel. And when this one came out, this one's called the Carry. Now, I don't know why they call it the Carry, to be honest with you folks, because this thing is, I think, in my opinion, way too heavy to carry. This thing is way heavier than one of these because of this big old weight on the bottom of it, and it's got a longer grip module on it, so it holds 2 more rounds. If you look at them side by side, significant difference here. And these are both medium size frames, so they're the same width right here. It's just, this one's just a little bit longer. Very awesome weapon here, folks. This is an awesome shooting gun, awesome range gun. Probably one of the best 9mm I've ever shot, if you want to be honest with you. I mean, it is just a really cool gun. But it comes in a little box with a little challenge coin. I don't know what that does. Don't care what that does. That's kind of a collector thing. That's not really my style. It's the collector part of firearms. I like functionality, and I don't care about the little coin, but it does come with a little coin with the little Legion sign on it right here, like you see here. The bottom of the magazines have that little Legion sign, and I think it's the Legion name is mainly just a gimmick, but this is called the X5 Legion Carry, and what an awesome gun. But you can almost buy 2 of these for what you can buy 1 of these for. So I imagine you could take 1 of these and do all this stuff to it, but probably end up with more money into it than if you just went ahead and bought it with all the stuff done to it. But anyway, folks, I just wanted to show you how these P320s, you can get them every different size, shape, and I seem to have a few of them myself. And they have full-size ones, they have subcompact ones for carry, they have them in all different kind of calibers. They have 40 caliber, 357 Sig, 45, 9mm. You can get them in pretty much anything. They're one of the most versatile kind of polymer frame pistols there is. They even make one that's comparable in price to this Legion here. It's called the AXG, and it has a full aluminum grip module on it. Very neat gun. They're pretty pricey also, but it's a very versatile gun. Very, there's a lot you can do with them. The aftermarket support is almost as much, if it isn't as much, as Glock. You can get all the different sights for them, all the different holsters. You'll be fine with aftermarket support. Basically, folks, it's a very good platform, very well made firearm. They have my approval, or I wouldn't have as many of them as I do. But if you have any questions on the P320 platform or anything about them, I think I have separate videos on pretty much every one of them that I have. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'll answer them the best that I can. And if I don't know the answer, I'll surely find it for you. Choice of the U.S. military, so it can't be all that bad, folks. But anyway, folks, thank you very much for watching my video today, and you folks have a great day.